Now, when it comes to Drake, oh boy, buckle up, because we're about to witness a full-blown crash in real time. If you're ready to see how the so-called Iceman melted into a puddle of embarrassment and turned into the trash man in front of his own fans live during what might have been the worst karaoke night of all time, then pause right now, smash that like button, and hit subscribe. You're going to want receipts for this one. Because as the self-proclaimed King of the Six stumbled through one of the most cringe-worthy performances in his career, the internet was watching. And let me tell you, they were not kind. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar, rap's real MVP right now, is out here doing flawless, sold-out shows with real energy, real passion, and actual fan love. And fans, even Drake's diehards, are starting to wake up. They're realizing maybe they've been riding for the wrong team this whole time. Even the most loyal of Lubre stans, the ones who used to defend every move Drake made, are starting to jump ship. They're tossing out their Iceman merch, wiping their playlist clean, and running straight into Kendrick's arms. It's like watching a bandwagon turn into a ghost town overnight. And as this slow-motion train wreck unfolds, we're seeing Drake's own fans transform from ride or die to straight-up savages. They're not just disappointed, they're done. So what exactly went down? Well, let's start with the obvious. Drake's recent live show, part of his circus-level tour that honestly feels more like a midlife crisis with a lighting budget, was a disaster from the jump. And it's not just that he bombed, it's how badly he bombed. We're talking about something so awkward, so uncomfortable, so hard to watch that is being called one of the most humiliating moments in modern rap tour history. Yes, worse than Kid Cudi's infamous Rolling Loud 2022 moment where he got booed so hard he stormed off stage. Drake might not have walked off, but trust me, his dignity did. See, fans were already ticked off. He had canceled a bunch of shows leading up to this one, including multiple Manchester dates, which left people feeling played and betrayed. So by the time the crowd actually showed up, energy was already off. People were annoyed, expectations were high sky. And Drake? Well, Drake showed up with zero vibes, dead energy, and this awkward, desperate aggression that made everything feel off. At one point, this man actually started yelling at the audience to make mosh pits. Not hyping them up, no, literally yelling at them like a coach losing a game. It was awkward, forced, and honestly kind of scary. His face looked drained, his voice cracked like a middle schooler in choir, and the crowd, they weren't having it. He even told them to jump around in exactly 4 circles. Yes, 4, not 3, not 5, 4. Like they were contestants on some weird reality show called Survive the Aubrey. And let's not even talk about the vocals, because what fans got was less world-class rap icon and more tired uncle doing karaoke at 2 a.m. His voice was flat, nasal, and just lifeless. You could feel it in the room. People were not enjoying themselves. In fact, they were starting to resent being there. You could see it in their eyes, in their body language, and that, my friend, is when everything shifted. That was the moment fans walked into the venue as Drake supporters and walked out ashamed to have ever defended him. This wasn't just another bad show. This was a breaking point. The energy snapped, and for a first time during this chaotic and embarrassing chapter of Drake's tour, the audience, his own people, collectively turned on him. They booed, they laughed, they mocked. And in the aftermath, social media blew up. Memes flooded the timeline. Clips went viral. And just like that, Drake wasn't cool anymore. He wasn't the boy. He wasn't even the man. He was the clown. And that's what makes this moment so iconic and devastating. We just watched Drake, one of the biggest artists in hip-hop history, become the jester of the genre. The punchline to the joke. The guy who once set trends now can't even get people to jump in a mosh pit without begging. This isn't just a rough patch, it's a fall from grace.
And now, this is where things go completely off the rails. After already limping through a performance that felt more like a punishment than a concert, Drake, yes, the Drake, ended up putting up what fans are calling the most pitiful stat line of his entire career. And let's be real, this wasn't just an underwhelming show. It was a full-blown meltdown, a music industry tragedy. The kind of performance where you start questioning everything you ever liked about the guy. And then it happened. The crowd lost it. Not in a good way. Not cheering, not jumping, not even booing anymore. Nope. They started throwing trash at Drake. Literal trash. Bottles, wrappers, paper, random junk, all flying toward the stage like it was open mic night at a middle school cafeteria. And this wasn't some playful fan moment. This wasn't people trying to get his attention or tossing him gifts like Kendrick Lamar fans do with vinyls and phones. Nah, this was pure disrespect. People weren't trying to celebrate Drake. They were trying to humiliate him. It was an act of public rejection, a statement, a protest in the form of soda bottles and wadded-up tissues. This crowd had one mission: make it clear that Drake wasn't welcome on his own stage. And it worked. At one point, fans started throwing toilet paper, yes, toilet paper, all over the place, on the stage, in the air, at him. And this wasn't just once. It kept happening throughout the entire show. Every song, another wave of shame rolled in. And just when you thought it couldn't get more humiliating, someone hurled an entire phone. Not because they wanted Drake to take a video like Kendrick Lamar's fans do. No, this was straight up aggression. The energy wasn't love, it was spite. Drake didn't just look uncomfortable, he looked defeated. And listen, I know what some people are thinking. Throwing stuff at artists is wrong. And yes, it is. Nobody deserves to be assaulted with garbage, no matter how bad the performance. If this were happening to almost any other artist, I'd probably feel bad. But here's the thing. This is Drake. And karma, as they say, has a funny way of circling back. Let's rewind for a second. Remember when Pusha T was on his Daytona tour? Remember when he performed in Toronto, Drake's home turf, and got bombarded by fans throwing trash, drinks, and anything they could get their hands on just to mess up his set? That wasn't some organic moment. That was engineered energy. And guess who cheered it on from behind the curtain? Drake and his team. He didn't stop it. He didn't condemn it. He endorsed it. So now, here we are, tables turned, and suddenly the Iceman has become the Trash Man. Just like that, from rap royalty to stage-side piñata. And all that talk about his karma being straight? Yeah, maybe it was straight into this mess. Because now Drake is getting the exact same treatment he encouraged for others. And it hurts more because it's happening on his own tour, in front of his own fans. This wasn't Rolling Loud or some festival crowd full of strangers. This was supposed to be a home game, a safe space, a crowd that paid good money to see him. And yet they were the ones who turned on him the hardest. At this point, Drake doesn't look like a superstar anymore. He looks like a parody of one. A rapper who peaked years ago and is now just coasting off name recognition. And the audience sees it. They feel it. This wasn't a one-off bad night. This was a wake-up call. The magic is gone. And let's be honest, this kind of public humiliation was unthinkable just a few years ago. Drake used to be untouchable, a legend. You couldn't say a bad word about him without getting dragged online. But now, the same fans who once screamed his lyrics like gospel are throwing trash and toilet paper at him like he's a punchline in a roast. It's wild. And when you compare this to Kendrick's shows, it's almost painful. While Kendrick is getting phones tossed at him so he can record special videos, Drake is dodging projectiles like he's in a game of dodgeball. While Kendrick is signing vinyls handed up to him with love, Drake is out here wiping garbage off his sneakers, probably wondering how it all went so wrong. This isn't just a bad show. It's a symbol of where Drake's career is at right now. Because if your own fans are embarrassing you like this at your show, on your tour, then the problem isn't the crowd. The problem is you. And when you zoom out and really take it all in, the toilet paper, the trash, the phones, the mood shift, it's undeniable. The fall of the Iceman is no longer a theory. It's happening right in front of us.
Well, if you've made it this far, then you already know. We're watching something historic, and not in a good way. Because what we're witnessing here isn't just a bad night or an off performance. It's the unraveling of an entire brand. Drake's image, his stage presence, his whole aura, it's all collapsing, and fast. The energy surrounding his shows, it's not just awkward anymore. It's downright eerie, like something out of Stranger Things. Except this time, the upside down is Drake's reality. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar, he's out here thriving, flourishing, aura farming like a pro. While Drake's crowds are throwing trash and toilet paper, Kendrick's fans are singing every word like they're in church. They're throwing them vinyls to sign, phones to record with, creating viral moment after viral moment. It's celebration. It's respect. It's what a king gets. Because let's be real, the contrast couldn't be clearer. On one side, you've got Kendrick commanding stadiums, creating art, elevating culture. The other, Drake, shuffling through tired tracks while dodging projectiles and looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. One is rising to the top of the game. The other is spiraling, caught in a cycle of his own bad habits and ego-driven choices. And sure, people can argue all day about who has more hits or who sold more albums. But when one artist is showing up late, canceling shows last minute, and treating fans like an afterthought, while the other is pouring heart, soul, and gratitude into every performance, yeah, that speaks volumes. It's not just about music anymore. It's about connection. Kendrick's shows feel like spiritual experiences, raw, powerful, unforgettable. Drake's shows, well, they're starting to feel like awkward family reunions where no one really wants to be there. And that right there is the clearest sign of all. Fans are waking up. They're choosing substance over stunts, passion over popularity, Kendrick over Drake. And if you still think this is just about some rap beef, you're missing the point. Because this isn't about lyrics or diss tracks anymore. This is about who's showing up for the culture and who's cashing in on autopilot. Drake's recent shows are proof that no amount of clout can save you when you stop caring, when you stop growing, when you start taking the people who made you for granted. You can call it karma, you can call it consequences, but whatever it is, it's here, and it's real. And look, Drake stans will do what they always do, spin the narrative. It's bots, it's a setup, it's the industry. But at some point, he's going to have to face the truth. This isn't some conspiracy. This is the result. The product of years of playing it safe, pandering, canceling, ghosting, and putting himself on a pedestal while the artistry declined. The fans, they're done waiting for the old Drake to come back. Because now, the guy who once called himself the Iceman has officially morphed into the Trash Man. The crowd has spoken, literally, with bottles, with phones, with toilet paper, and with silence. The loudest kind of rejection there is. And if Drake has any real self-awareness left, any at all, this should be a wake-up call, a moment of reckoning. Because no matter how famous you are, if you don't evolve, the game will move on without you. He needs to reflect deeply, not on the beef, not on Kendrick, but on himself, on what he's become. Because if your own fans, your core, start rejecting you like this, then maybe, just maybe, it's time to admit that something's broken. But knowing Drake, he'll probably brush it off, blame the haters, call it noise, maybe even crack a joke in his next caption. But if he keeps ignoring it, keeps pretending this is just a one-off moment and not the symptom of a much bigger problem, then get ready, because every single concert moving forward might just be another recycling fest, A parade of disappointed fans, awkward energy, and Twitter memes. This could have been a triumphant moment in his legacy, but instead, it's a warning. And now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about Drake turning into the trash man? Have you ever seen a moment this embarrassing, not just for Drake, but for any major rapper at this level? Because let's be honest, this was unprecedented, a total collapse of a live performance, and it might have just changed the way people see him forever. So drop your thoughts below, and if you made it to the end, you're a real one. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want to see how this downward spiral all started, how Drake practically cursed himself by taking shots at Kendrick, dissing the clips, and moving with reckless arrogance, go check out the video I've linked next. Trust me, it explains everything.